Warning: the following Landvik exclusive may not be suitable for all audiences. Viewer discretion is advised.
Controversial YouTuber and podcaster Houston Wade, known for his rants on everything from crypto crashes to Elon Musk takedowns, now faces his own epic downfall. Arrested on December 17, 2025 in Bremerton, Washington, Wade is charged with attempted rape of a child in the first degree, attempted child molestation in the first degree, and communication with a minor for immoral purposes. But how did a self-proclaimed rock god and science enthusiast end up in this nightmare? It all stems from a 110-day undercover sting operation that reads like a twisted thriller. What follows is the unfiltered probable cause statement from the Bremerton Police Department, the raw facts that sealed his fate. Listen closely, this is where the mask slips. On November 3, 2025, I received an email from Special Agent Kelsey Main with the Naval Criminal Investigative Services, NCIS. Before this email, Special Agent Main and I had discussed undercover chatting because she had completed the ICAC Certified Undercover Chat class. I learned from the email that Special Agent Main had been chatting with an individual who had expressed interest in meeting with Special Agent Main's undercover persona. I later learned that her persona was that of an 11-year-old girl in 6th grade. The suspect, later identified as Houston Wade, sent the undercover account a picture of himself. The initial chat began on August 29, 2025, in a phone application called Hush. Wade's screen name was Authority Figure, with the post, "The best part about teaching is the students." Special Agent Main responded to the post by saying, "Hi." Wade asked if the undercover was a good student. The undercover told him she was in 6th grade and 11 years old, but wasn't sure she was the kind of person he wanted to talk to. Wade told her that was exactly who he wanted to talk to. Wade asked if she wanted to move the chat to another application. The undercover picked Kik. That same day, they began communicating on Kik. Wade provided the username Pulse of Life. The display name for the account was The Captain. The undercover and Wade chatted regularly over the course of approximately 110 days. Initial signs of grooming began on September 18, 2025. Wade said he was imagining how cute she would look curled up with a book. The undercover sent an edited image of herself to make her appear to be an 11-year-old. Wade told her she was definitely a looker, noting that he was a fan of her pigtails. He added, "Well, this significantly older man is telling you that you are beautiful." On October 12, 2025, when discussing hobbies, Wade made some suggestions, including, "Insert really filthy, pervy hobby idea here," among a list of more conventional hobbies. He added, "Really hoping you choose the pervy hobby," cross fingers emoji. Later that night, he inquired if there was a day the undercover would be available to hang out. Wade continued his grooming by attempting to solicit intimate images from someone he believed was an 11-year-old girl. On October 13, 2025, Wade asked if the undercover had ever sent a sexy pic to someone. On October 15, 2025, Wade brought the topic back up saying, "Well, I'll be the little devil on your shoulder, give into it, devil emoji." He proposed she take pictures of herself that she thought were sexy, but she didn't have to send them but would still have them. The undercover replied that they thought they could do that. Wade added, "Be as lewd as you want, you don't have to choose to send me anything if you don't want to." The undercover thanks Wade for not pressuring her. Wade told her it isn't fun to be pressured and that they would take things at a pace she was comfortable with. Wade began actively attempting to meet the girl he believed to be 11 years old to engage in various sex acts. On November 2, 2025, Wade asked when they were going to hang out, adding he was excited to spend time with her. The undercover asked what he wanted to do. Wade said they could go on a date of sorts, starting with a meal and doing some hanging out after. When the undercover said that could be fun and asked if there was anything else, Wade replied that the hanging out was about doing a lot of naughty things with the undercover. Wade suggested they could do some experimenting to see what the undercover liked. The undercover requested further clarification, so she wasn't surprised. Wade replied, "We'll go as far as you want. Making out and heavy petting for sure. There's no need to do anything more than what you feel comfortable with. If you want to experience your first orgasm or more, you'll let me know. If you don't, then you'll tell me." He explained that he was experienced and always ready for more, but acknowledged that her lack of experience might make her apprehensive. The undercover told Wade that she trusted him and asked what the best way to experience an orgasm was. Wade replied, clitoral stimulation for her first time, saying it would blow her mind. He listed other ways women can experience orgasms, including clitoris, G-spot, C-spot, breasts, some, anal, most. Wade later added, "I personally get all my pleasure from seeing you lose all control because of how good you feel, and most women go their entire lives not knowing it's possible to feel that good." Wade said, "Your first experience will be burned into your mind for the rest of your life, and I want it to be really, really, really good." Wade continued his grooming practice by telling the girl he bought her a gift. On November 9th, 2025, Wade told the undercover he bought her a present, but didn't tell her what it was, saying it was something she would really, really like. When she said she was excited, he replied, "And I hope to unwrap you like a present. Have you figured out when you'll be able to sneak away for a day?" Wade and the undercover initially agreed to a meet on December 11th, 2025.
I was supposed to go on a date tonight with a young lady who lives out here, and she can't get out because all the roads going across these rivers, they're closing all the bridges because the water's touching the bridges, and so we're not going out after the show tonight. Maybe we'll get a chance over the weekend. I don't know. So c'est la vie. Here we are. Spend the night at home. My most boring shirt I own.
The undercover canceled because of logistical issues with law enforcement. However, the undercover proposed to meet on December 17th, and Wade agreed. The meet was scheduled to take place between 5 and 6 p.m. at East Park in Bremerton near the skate park. On December 17th, law enforcement surveilled Wade while he left his residence at approximately 3:11 p.m. On the way, Wade stopped at the Quality Inn in Silverdale. He entered the hotel with a backpack. After leaving the hotel to go back to his vehicle, he no longer had the backpack with him. Later, when he was taken into custody, he had 2 hotel room keys for room 110 on his person. After a telephonic search warrant was granted for the search of the hotel room, law enforcement discovered a variety of sexual paraphernalia consistent with the different sexual acts Wade suggested in the chats. He brought with him Booty Glide personal lubricant, 4 condoms, a used container of lubricant, additional lubricant specifically for sex toys, a dildo wrapped in plastic wrap, a vibrator, 4 bondage straps, and a newly packaged AirTouch, 2 described as a clitoral suction rabbit sex toy.
And a partridge in a pear tree.
In chats, when the undercover expressed a concern about pain involved in sex, Wade said, "There's a lot we can do to make sure things aren't painful or much painful, and then the pleasure will sort of cancel it out in your brain." After leaving the hotel, Wade continued to the skate park, arriving at approximately 5:25 p.m. A minute after arriving, he texted the undercover that he would be there in about 19 minutes. At approximately 5:39 p.m., the undercover asked if he could meet her by the skate park. Wade replied, instructing her to walk to the bottom of the driveway by the skate park, the location where he had been parked. Wade had been sitting in the parking lot for 14 minutes. Law enforcement believed Wade had taken a substantial step toward attempting to meet with the girl he believed was 11 years old. Shortly thereafter, law enforcement took Wade into custody without incident and transported him back to the police department for an interview. Wade was read his Miranda rights in the interview room and agreed to talk to Detective Muli Ta Uopehle. While being interviewed, Wade feigned ignorance, saying he had gotten lost in the area while attempting to go to dinner at La Fermata, a restaurant that closed in 2024. However, it was clear from surveillance that Wade went directly to a parking lot in the area, parked, and waited there for the 11-year-old girl. Detective Muli Ta Uopehle told Wade that a mother had discovered chats on her daughter Sarah's phone and turned it into the police. Wade listed Sarah's that he knew and provided their ages without being asked. It wasn't until after this list that Detective Muli Ta Uopehle told him about Sarah being 11 years old. When Detective Muli Ta Uopehle confronted Wade with the content of the chats, Wade interrupted, saying, "This is really uncomfortable." After being confronted with additional information in the case, Wade requested an attorney. Houston Wade committed the crime of communication with a minor for immoral purposes when he knowingly communicated with a person he believed to be an 11-year-old girl, using grooming techniques to present various sex acts he hoped to perform with her at a future date. Houston Wade committed the crime of attempted rape of a child in the first degree when he showed substantial steps to meet with an 11-year-old girl for the purpose of having sexual intercourse in a variety of ways by driving from his residence in Bainbridge Island, renting a hotel room, and setting up various sex toys and bondage restraints and arrived at East Park in Bremerton, Washington. He then instructed the person he believed was an 11-year-old girl to meet him near the parking lot where he was waiting with the purpose of ultimately transporting her to a hotel room he had prepared to perform the previously discussed sex acts. The preceding narrative is not intended to be a complete record of the actions of all officers or a full explanation of the entire incident, but a brief synopsis of the facts leading to the establishment of probable cause at the time of arrest.
And lo and behold, turns out he's a child trafficking, rapist, pedophile, drug addict. So, just like everyone said he was, and